Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another railroad development stream. And today we're going to be continuing working on the Git integration system. And yeah, I think that's basically what we're going to be doing today. We're going to continue exactly where we left off yesterday, or well, not exactly, because I've done a little bit since then, which we'll quickly go ahead and test first, but we're not going to be too far off what we were on yesterday. Hello, Wide, welcome to the stream. Hello, Alex, welcome to the stream. So let's give it a run. So yesterday we finished on the branches shenanigans, and we were actually working, I believe, in the Git manager, trying to figure out a way to fetch all the branch names. So I've done all of that, and I've done all of the Git manager stuff to retrieve the branches. So all down here, you can see everything that's been added basically with this green. So I've then gone ahead and created the UI, of which we haven't tested yet. So that's what we're going to do first of all. As usual, Codex assisted with creating the UI here. So we're going to see how that looks. I think it should be fine. It's a fairly basic UI, so there isn't much that could have gone wrong. Looks like I'm missing an import. That's always a great start. You can tell I haven't tested it yet. Okay, let's give it a run again and see what happens. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we'll just open Railroad. It's just the easiest project to open. Okay, not a great start. Not a great start. So what is this? So get diff index failed. Warning in the copy of LF4 replace CRLF, so get touched yet. Right, that's fine. Okay, so this is basically what it's saying. So get index diff index failed. So yeah, I didn't think this part would work, I can't lie. This method I was very unsure about, because I wasn't really sure how to do it. For now, in that case, let's just return false there. And we will come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that because I'm not sure about that. And just close some things as well. Okay. So let's try again. I need to remove this repository. Remove. There we go. Because that doesn't need to be there. I'm also going to remove some things I can't actually even open. So, Industria, for example, I can't open. I think I can open the tutorial mode. I'm just going to remove some other... You know, I'm going to remove basically all of them. And just have Railroad. Just because Railroad is the easiest one on here that I can open. As of current. You can see it actually ran a lot of things in the console then. Because it has to look at every single branch basically. So obviously there's a lot of different branches. It has to get a lot of data about all of those branches. So if we now go get branches, hopefully... Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's not terrible. I'm just going to quickly look at... Okay, so a brev ref is meant to be the upstream branch. So you can see this one doesn't have an upstream, for example. A brev ref is not correct. I don't know why it's done that. So let's have a look at git commands. Oops, not that. Okay. So yeah, this one doesn't work. I'm just going to remove that. We'll come back to that. Question, has the last commit worked though? Yeah, I mean that looks correct. I doubt it's just made up a commit. It's saying this is head. That's correct. Other thing, probably want to organize these in some way. Because currently they're not at all. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so it's just the origin. The origin branch that's not working. So this is basically what I tried to do. I guess that's just not correct. So if we try this, we can try get rev pass brev bref symbolic full name. Let's just do feature / VCS - integration. Then we do at you. Yeah, so it doesn't like that basically. Okay. I'm not sure how we do this then, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of Googling. See if I can find anything. I don't know if you can do that without being on the branch, it seems. I can do get branch -vv. Yeah, so that kind of would work, right? That gets us those, so we could pass from that, and in fact that's probably better because that's a single command. The only issue with doing that, of course, is that we'd have to pass it all in one go and like store it. And this also, you can see here, gets the latest commit message as well. Apparently, you can do --list, and then if we give it a name, feature process VCS -integration. Okay, that gives us the single one for that branch. Interesting. Apparently this one should work if I get rid of symbolic full name though. I'm going to try that one first. No, that doesn't work. It just doesn't like that. Just gonna see. Oh, this needs to be 2 B's. Still doesn't like that though. Oh, apparently also this has to be in a string. Aha! Okay. There you go. So okay, what if we add that symbolic full name back then? Symbolic dash full dash name. Oops. Yeah, that needs to be like that. Basically the same. That probably is there for a reason, I imagine. Okay, so in that case, we just need to surround this with quotes, which shouldn't be too hard. If we just do this, and then that, that will be fine. And then, yeah, we basically just want to remove the... Well, no, I guess we actually want to keep origin there. So let's try run that now, and that should be a little bit better. It shouldn't look quite so jank now. Okay, so let's run. Ooh, okay, lots of errors. Lots and lots and lots of errors. Okay, let's stop it because it's spamming errors. Failed to pass a head count 00 for branch SST in repository. Can't pass int. So 00, interesting. So I think that's because, actually, when you run this, I think it is giving 0 space 0 rather than like it's giving the head and behind, I believe. We can try though, so we can try get rev list dash dash left dash right dash dash count, and then if we do SST and dot 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 origin forward slash SST. Yeah, that gives us 0 space 0. If we do that with something like... if we do like... feature forward slash VCS dash into dash VCS dash integration. And then we do origin forward slash main, for example. That would be 7740. Okay, so basically... these give us an int array rather than what we want. So we can rename this to get ahead behind count. Now, I thought I did already have that, admittedly. No, I think I removed it. So get behind count. Yeah, these basically can just go. This should just get me an int array get ahead behind count of local branch name, remote branch name, and then this does, yeah, that does that. Okay, I see what I've done here. Okay, I see. So this just needs to go. Get rid of you. Okay, then this will be instead get ahead behind counts. This will be the local branch name. Well, I guess it's not necessarily a local branch name. It's just a branch name, right? And then do that. Okay, so here this just passes the entire thing as an int, but what we want to instead do, I guess, is split it. I don't know if there's a way maybe we can format it to have like a null byte character, actually. I don't know if maybe we can do -z for this command, actually. No. We could try before, though. Yeah, that doesn't work for that command, unfortunately. Okay, apparently with more modern gets can... There is like a for each ref command you can use. Otherwise it doesn't seem possible. Okay. It seems, yeah, the best way then is just split the lines. So basically, first of all, this should not use trim, this should use strip, because otherwise that's going to not work. You need to strip it. This then needs to also return an int array, and we just need to do new int array 00 there, and same here, new int array 00. And then here I can just split the lines. So string parts of parts on length is not equal to ahead 0, behind 1, new int array ahead fine. Yeah, that will work. That should be fine. Okay. So if we now go back to the Git manager, that comes in there. So then we need to go to where that's used in the Git manager, which is here. So this will be int array ahead behind, and then ahead count behind count, like that. And I assume, yeah, that's used the same there. So int array okay. Yeah, because that needs to be behind a null check, so otherwise that's not gonna work. That's fine. Okay, let's try run that and see what happens now. I want to try and get some things done today, guys. So hopefully we get this entire branch's stuff done today. And then I want to move on to... I'm just going to double check what I actually want to move on to. Sync and... Oh no, we've got to do remotes first. Remotes is going to be interesting. And then the next thing is syncing and then stashing. That's basically it. The only other thing I want as like MVP will be settings, so we can get settings. But those shouldn't be too hard to do. So I don't know how much of that we're actually going to get done today. We'll see. Okay, why can I not drag this out? Oh, there you go. Okay. That's fine. I mean, this is basically fine. The background just does need to be fixed, so that's fine. That's just fairly simple. Upstream, yeah, origin. That's fine, because we're on a branch here. Or we're on a fork, I should say. Anything else? This needs to be translated, so... Oh, actually, Codex just did that for me. I didn't even realize. The thing about Codex is it also tries to update the RURU, which I can't validate is correct. So I have to discard it every time it tries to do that. Discard. There we go. Okay. And then... what else? The background of the items in the list view. Let's go ahead and fix those. So that will be the... So this is the list view. List cell. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do... Let's go ahead and find out what that box is called. So it's the root, I think. Get remote branch cell. Oops, didn't mean to close that. Okay, I see. Right, but I see. I see what's happening. So it's not also doing the ones inside of it. And then let's just see if it has actually managed to fix any of that or not. Okay. So if we now open this. Okay, so that's now got that, and then I've also managed to get to do these in here. Those are fine. Yeah, still an issue with that hover, but I think it has actually just managed to fix that. So we're quickly going to rerun this and check. Okay. So get branches. Nice. So it has actually gone ahead and fixed that hovering as well. Okay. Anything else? I'm just going to quickly look at what ChatGPT gave me for the UI. So I actually don't want to use the latest one it gave me, do I? Because that one was wrong. Yeah, I'm just going to tell it to do a couple fixes. You guys can watch this, I guess. So first of all, I want the upstream it's got here to be in the same line as this, and I also want it to be in a little like chip, like this is, as a chip. I also want this second line to start with, well, first of all, I want to get rid of that up-to-date shenanigans, so get rid of the up-to-date text. The second line should be last, and then short commit hash, and then it should say time ago last commit time ago, and then it should be the behind and ahead, or ahead and behind, I guess. So ahead, behind, let's do like this, so it's consistent. You don't know what I mean regardless, but I just like to make it a little bit more obvious. With the ahead and behind also as tags, or also as chips with a green dot on the left if it's 0, or otherwise a orange dot. Okay, let's see if we can do all of those. They should be fairly, all should be fairly simple changes. And then I think the remotes are all fine. Okay, it does need to get the time of the commit. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so that just gets the last commit from the log of that branch and then just checks. Okay, that's fine. Is this Codex or Claude, which you prefer? This is Codex. I've honestly never used Claude. It's just too expensive, to be honest. So, I don't know if it's good or not. I've heard some people say Claude is good. I've heard other people say it's not. So I cannot even remotely comment on it. I don't know. I've never used it. Maybe someday I will, but as I say, it's very expensive. Claude is extremely expensive. Codex is not, because it just uses my ChatGPT subscription. So, you know, it basically doesn't cost me anything. Gemini is also pretty good, but I don't pay for that either. So I don't know. I've never used pro version of Gemini CLI, so I don't know how good that is. Okay, I think this is done. Okay, that's fine. What are you working on today? The same thing as last time, Wide. We are still working on the Git VCS system. Just getting branches done. And then hopefully we're going to have time to move on to remotes as well, which will be, honestly, exactly the same. Kind of. We do need to also implement the details pane for the branches, though. So we can get details about the latest branch. But yes, we haven't done that yet. Let's see what it says. So, okay, I think it's done that. Let's see. And see if we can move on. Okay, so we open it up. Okay, that's fine. It has actually done that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, formatting isn't perfect, but honestly, that is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Only other thing it does need is I want to have the branch status on the right-hand side, so like here. Can you also include the branch status on the right hand side? Of the cell. Okay, it should just be able to, that should be nice and simple. Branch status is already part of the data I have given it. If we check get branch, it already has this branch status here. So that should be fine. And then, yeah, that just contains a localization key already, I think. If we check, God, I'm losing it. Get branch status has this localization key. I don't know if that's already in the lang or not. Did it add it to the lang? It didn't. But has it mentioned? Are the translation keys already translated for the branch statuses? Let's see what it says. I don't think they are. Can you add them to ENUS? Nice. Okay. Okay, so that should have done that. Let's see if it's actually put it in the right place. Should have, I think. I think it would just make the entire thing H box and then just put it to the right. So that shouldn't be too hard for it to do, but we can obviously check that it hasn't done anything wrong. And if I can... I can never reach this friggin'... It's like 1 pixel. Okay, let's put clean there. Okay, the remote branch is a little bit inconsistent. Can you ensure consistency with the... Ensure the remote branches list view is consistent? Did you hear that Corbin Joe is the Hightail mod ambassador? I have heard this, yes. I don't know what that means, but I have heard it, yes. Which is nice for him. As I've said in the past, I personally have no interest in Hightail. But yeah, sounds good. What the hell is this? Okay. I feel like it's not translating. Everything needs to be translated. Do not include literal text strings. They must be translations. Okay. I wonder if it's going to add a listener to the current language or not. And then make it refresh when the language changes. I don't know. I don't think a lot of Railroad UI currently does that, admittedly. That is something we need to come back and fix at some point, but I think for now that does actually seem to be working. Okay, I will say it is just returning a localized string rather than just using a localized label. We have localized UI components in Railroad Core. Okay, it's gonna update that RUIU again, so I'm gonna have to wipe that again, but that's fine. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, let's quickly do this again. RUIU Discord changes. Thank you. Okay. Apparently I did that before it actually... it hasn't finished yet. Okay, so it's just gone ahead and added them back. So now I come back in here and I discard again. Because I don't want the RUIU ones. It means he is the middleman or representative for Hightail modding. You can make suggestions and bug reports to Corbin Joe about Hightail modding API and he will organize them and inform Hightail. Interesting. Sounds unnecessary, I will say. I feel like Hightail could just make a pretty basic, like, GitHub issues or something, right? Would that not be 10 million times easier than having a middleman that everyone has to go through? Maybe? Just saying. But yeah, I mean, sure. Are you using Claude Code? No, this is Codex. Okay, is it correctly using So localized label. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's doing the same thing in there as well. Yep, that looks fine. We can try that. We'll probably have to give it another second or two, though. Oh, because that's all local. Is this all local? Yeah, this is all local. So it has to do the same with the remote. Okay. That's perfectly fine. So that's the remote. Is it done with the remote? Oh god, it's gone ahead and... It's about to do the IU again, I think. No, okay. I managed to stop it before it does that. I probably should have told it, don't do the IU. Okay. So, here we go. Let's give it a second. Okay. Get branches. Nice. So that's a lot more consistent now. Everything's how it should be. I will say that the aheads and behinds are wrong. I think. Oh no, they actually are correct. So once I make this commit, the ahead of this one should change to 1. We can check that though. So, and we are almost done. We'll just have to do a couple more things. So we need to do the branch details pane. We said actually we were going to do that as a tooltip though, didn't we? So we said we were going to have it so like we click on this and it'll bring it up as like a tooltip. I don't know how feasible that is. JavaFX. See if I can find out exactly like the level at which tooltips can go to. So tooltips can have styles. That doesn't really help though, does it? New tooltip. Okay, this guy recommends using a pop-up control, which is basically just an undecorated window, rather than a tooltip specifically. You can also set the graphic of a tooltip. Interesting. The only problem with using a tooltip is the time at which we fetch the data. I guess that's not really a problem. Will Carpenter manages everything for a Trello board. I believe he is there to ensure only the relevant and important suggestion stuff gets to Hightail. That sounds like a lot of work. I wonder how much they're paying him for that. Because that sounds like a lot of work. Be real. That would take a lot of time. Because that's like a lot of sifting you have to go through. Okay. Close that. Okay. I like the idea of a tooltip, but I feel like the problem with the tooltip is you have to fetch the data when you create the tooltip, and the problem with that is that could cause some lag, because obviously it would happen on the UI thread. I guess it doesn't have to happen on the UI thread. We could have it async and then user platform.run later inside of that, which would then run on the UI thread. That could work actually. So if we go into we're going here. List cell. So basically we want to take these cells then. So I wonder if we could grab a hold of that cell factory, right? Rather than having duplicate code, could we go ahead and say like something like, hey, cell factory is equal, cell factory is not equal to null. Then we take the list view, maybe we do like cell factory dot call on the list view, which would give us the cell, right? Oh, but it needs to be effectively final. Interesting. That's fine. I guess what we can do is we can do new cell factory, right? And then cell factory dot call. No, if it's not equal to null, then okay, this needs to be the other way around. If it's equal to null, then null, sure. Or we do that, and then this takes in the new cell factory, and then basically we can modify here the actual cell factory. Sure, that'll work. Why are you personally not interested in Hightail modding? Because I have no interest in Hightail itself. So therefore, I'm not gonna mod it, right? That just doesn't make sense. It's the same reason I'm not doing Terraria modding, you know, because I don't have interest in that game. Or, you know, same with modding any game, right? You're not gonna mod a game if you're not interested in the game. What was that? Oh, just the music player erroring again. What a surprise. Why is this complaining? Oh, because I need to return cell. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do cell.set on. I think we need to use mouse clicks. Take the events. If event.click count is 2 and cell is not empty, then what we can do is we can get the branch and then we can do double click on the branch. So this will be obviously a method in here. This can actually be an abstract method, even. Like that. Though I guess that kind of defeats the entire point, right? If that's abstract. So I guess it actually then shouldn't be abstract. So we know that T is just a get branch, right? So it actually doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of does, but I guess what we can have is we can have a abstract node create details node, which will take in the branch. So then what we do is on double click, we can then go ahead and say, I'm trying to think how do we do that? In fact, I could very easily over-engineer this, but I don't necessarily want to over-engineer this. Like I could easily say, okay, fine, we'll make an R extends, or just R, which would be some like data class, right? And then we have a abstract R get branch details, and then basically have it so that this takes in R, which would be the details, right? So it could take in like T branch and R details, and then we could have R details is equal to that, and then you would do platform dot run later. In fact, this isn't that over-engineered, is it? Right, and then we would create our tooltip. So then we'll go ahead and say, yeah, I mean, this would need to show a dialogue or something. I've only used abstract classes, but never an abstract method. How? How is that even possible? How can you use abstract classes without abstract methods? That seems so incredibly pointless. Also, this should probably be protected, right? I can't make it protected. I see. That's why I made it like that. Okay, that's fine then. I also don't like this being called R. Let's call that D. And then it's more clear that that's the data class. And then T is just the type, so that's fine. Okay, and then this we'll use window builder dot create dialogue. Which will create the title, so we'll have railroad dot get dot branch dot details dot title. Okay, and then that takes in a dialogue builder, so we have dialogue builder, a new dialogue builder, and then we can do the title of this as well. We don't have a subtitle here. We have content. Do we care about content? Yes, I guess content is the big thing, right? So then we do content node and we do details node. And then we do... we don't want any buttons, actually. So can I just do buttons? And then just say... I guess that's it. Right? Then that creates the dialogue builder. And then we can do .var, which gets us the dialogue. And then basically the dialogue just... don't know exactly how it should work. I guess when it's not clicked on, we want it to go away. So if we do... get seen, we can. So if... so set on mouse clicked. If event.click count... I mean, I guess you kind of just want to close it, right? We just want to do dialog.close. Okay. This is an event handler, so I actually wanna... I can't var that? What, can I do it like this, though? Hey, here we go. And then I guess... How would I do this? Am I overthinking this? Maybe I'll get Codex to do this, because I'm not sure how you would do this. The way I made it possible was that it is a base class that other class extends for constant reusable properties, but I don't want the base class to be creatable as a new object. I mean, sure, that works, I guess. I think, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing as well. I have these properties in here that I need. Otherwise, I would just be using an interface. Yeah, for sure. Plus, it needs to extend our list view. So, it just makes sense as an abstract class. Okay. Let's ask it, can you make it so when the dialogue in at abstract oh no, one second, let me just type this out and then okay, abstract is shown clicking anywhere outside the dialogue will close it. The dialogue should function more as a tooltip rather than an actual window. However, it needs to have the custom content. Make sure I save this file so it doesn't mess up. Let's see what it does. Yeah, just going to do not modify IU underscore IU. It's actually insistent on modifying IU. Okay, there you go. It's currently modified? No, it's not. What? What did it even do? But it hasn't even done my change. Are you gonna do what I asked you to do? Excuse me? It's just completely ignored what I asked you to do. Okay. Whatever, man. This is how it be sometimes. Okay, it's actually going to use a pop-up. Sure, that works, I guess. Okay. Now we just wait and see if it can actually do this. Was it done? Actually, so it's created an actual pop-up. I guess that might work. Only thing is that needs to be an RR stack pane. Very minor thing, but it is worth pointing out. Use var there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. apart from that, I think it's done a fine job. Okay, so if we run that again, we should now have... Oh, wait. No. Yeah. Because we need to do this first. So we need to go ahead and override these methods and create the actual details pane. So I guess first and foremost, we need to create the actual details. Oh, and we also need to define what D is. So here, D will be a private static. Let me actually see what data we actually need. Final class. I think it's going to be a record actually. Private record. Local branch details. So this is going to have string full hash. Well, I guess not really. It's going to have a string last commit message. It's going to have a get author last commit author. It's going to have a I guess that's kind of it actually. Funnily enough. Yeah. That's actually it. In that case, do we even want a record then? Or should we just take this and store it in the branch anyways? Can you store the last commit message and author, get author, in the branch? In the get branch. Records are great, man. I love records. But I think I overuse them sometimes. Also, I also apparently use them wrong, because apparently you're not meant to use them for public-facing APIs, which is interesting, I suppose. So we're just going to get rid of D here. And get rid of that. And then this will just take in the branch, because the branch will then have everything we need. So like details just doesn't need to exist, because then that can just take in the branch, which is fine. That still runs on platform.run later just to stay safe. Let me just see what Codex has done. So it has added... Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to see what it's done, guys, and it hasn't really done the right thing. So I mean, it kind of has. So it's gone to go and get the last details, last commit details from the branch directly. It doesn't really need to do that though. You have the last commit hash already in the get methods in the get manager. So rather than creating these new methods to fetch this information, why don't you use the commit hash to look it up using the existing methods. Maybe it knows what I mean. It should be able to figure out what I mean. Because I already have, if we go into Git Manager real quick, I have a way to get the author of a commit. I don't know exactly where it is. I actually don't. Well, I have Git all authors, so this basically gets all of the authors of a Git repository. That's actually not what I'm looking for, though, admittedly. Okay. Well, it's going to have to make that method then, isn't it? But that's fine. Because that doesn't really have to change anything. Yeah, you can see here it hasn't really changed much. It's just changed the command a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then just use the hash instead of the branch, so no unnecessary stuff. And then that gets commits author of a hash, which is much better. And then it's got rid of the silly little record it made. Okay, that's all fine. Now that the branch stores all this last commit information, can you turn that into a record and store the record in the branch? And then that might just make it a little bit easier to read, like from a developer standpoint. It saved me the time of having to do this. Yeah, so hash, epoch time, message, author. That's basically everything. I mean, we could have just stored a get commit. So we have obviously get commits, but the thing is with that is it does store a bunch of extra stuff that we don't need, right? Like we don't need any of this or we don't need any of this. It would just be this. So, you know, not really necessary to use that one. And hopefully, seeing if it's actually making this work or not. Okay, two related problems. So in here, right, that's because we still need to override these create details. No, we don't need these, so that can go. But we need the method it wants us to override, which is create details node. Yes, that is the right one. Okay. Like that. Okay. So, what do we actually want in the node, I guess is the biggest question. So, what ChatGPT gave us was this. Which is fine, I think. It's basically everything we need, right? So it's the last commit, the author of that commit, when it was last updated, the tracking, the commands. Commands probably won't bother with. That's just not necessary. The buttons we will need. So yeah, we'll have to do those. and Codex won't be able to do those for us. So that's right. I mean, it could, but we're not going to make it do those for us. We can do these buttons. In fact, I think these are all done. Like, checkout branches is done. Comparing, don't entirely know what that would involve. That might not even be possible right now. Set upstream isn't actually done, but that should be very easy to do. Unset upstream, once again, very easy to do. Renaming, very easy to do. Deleting, very easy to do. So, I mean, there's going to have to be a little bit of validation in renaming. There's going to have to be a bit of validation in set upstream. And there's going to have to be a confirmation for deleting. Checkout is also going to involve some kind of dialogues that you'd have to go through. Just in case you have like stage changes or that kind of thing. So I've just got it going ahead creating the like basic UI, and then we can add in the buttons once it's done that. I don't suspect it will take too long. I want to ideally get this done today. Some of these buttons, even though they're pretty simple buttons, it might take a hot minute to get them done. I guess whilst we're waiting on this, we can kind of do the commands at least that those buttons would use. So, for example, one of those that we're going to want is set upstream. So it's set branch upstream. I think that is correct, no? I'm just going to do a quick Google. I think that is how you do it. I think it is just set upstream. Yeah, that's fine. And then we also want unset upstream, which is literally just using dash dash unset upstream. So that should be very easy. Git command unset branch upstream. And then deleting, I think, is exactly the same. I think it is just dash dash delete. But it should be able to see. So, that's also added delete tag, which you don't want right now. We will want that later. So that just uses dash D for deleting, which is the same as doing dash dash delete. And then back, and then yeah, big D is saying dash dash delete. Followed by dash dash force. I think we can probably do it this way actually. Yeah, I'm gonna I mean, this is fine. Like, we can use dash D and dash D, but so we can use dash delete like that, and then we can do like that. I don't know what happens if we have a null arg or not. So I'm trying to see where arguments is used. Arguments, command, build command. I think we can just do if arg is equal null, arg is equal that. There you go. That should just mean that we can actually give null here, and that won't cause us any weird problems. And then we also want to rename a branch. Now, I'm not sure how you do that. I think you use -- move. I think. Yes, it does seem to be the case. So we want a public static get command rename branch, which I think we use move. Yes. The only thing we will want though is a boolean force, which will basically just do the exact same thing. So we might want to force that. Okay, and then that's got old name, new name, or old branch, new branch. That's fine. Okay. Anything else? Only other thing is comparing. I don't know what that involves, so we'll come back to that one. Okay, let's just fix some of the things it janked out on. Fix all. And the same problem is going to be present in... just quickly have a look through here, see what it's done. Okay, so the same thing is going to be present in here. Yeah. To no one's surprise, of course. I actually forgot to press fix all, didn't I? I just fixed the individual one. I don't know if there are multiple, but there you go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what does that do? So that just creates... Oh, I see. So those just live in here anyways. Oh, okay. I see. So most of the work it's doing is actually in here. Okay, let's grab some bars. There we go. Yeah, that can just be like that. That can be a var, that can be a var, 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 var. Anything else? Okay. Oh, question. Is there any of those qualified imports that it hasn't? Oh, there's left in here. I don't think so. Okay, so I am actually going to ask it. Actually, first of all, let's run this and see what it looks like. And then we can figure out where, we can ask it where to put, or we can tell it where we want to actually put these buttons. Or we can do it ourselves, depending on the UI it's done. Because I'm not sure how complex it's going to have looked. Okay. Get branches, here we go. Okay, so you can now see all of the details. So we can see the last commit author, we can see email, we can see commit time. Yeah, this is basically everything we want in here. Now, how do we fit a button row in here, I guess is the big question, right? This actually looks quite nice. I quite like that. Question, what does it do down here? Oh, okay, that's fine. So I think this just uses JavaFX pop-up system. So automatically basically put it in the place that makes the most sense depending on the node that we're clicking. So that's fine. Now, yeah, so now where do we want to add the buttons? I'm thinking just like above these. Now, I assume this is just a big V-box, I'm guessing. So if we look at create common details node. Okay. So rows is just a list of node, and then that goes into... So that goes into a common details node. Oh, I see, which is the root. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So the header, question, what's the header? Is that the... So I think that's this. See if the header has the... Okay, there you go. Okay, so we want it after the header then. So we want the var button row. Okay. And then we want to start adding the buttons. Min commit rows. That's fine. Okay, so var you know, I'm going to ask it to actually add that button row for us. Because I'm not going to ask it to do the logic for the buttons. We can do that. But otherwise, if we do this, we're not going to be consistent with the UI it's done for this. So, not that obviously that really matters, but just one thing that's nice to have. So, I'm going to ask it, can you append a button row below the header row? The buttons from left to right are checkouts, set upstream if relevant, unset upstream if relevant, rename, delete. Do not implement the logic for these buttons. Just add in the buttons and appropriate styling and translations. Okay. So I suspect what it will do is it will make another abstract method, which will be for creating those buttons. Is my guess. Interesting. So it's just done it like this. Okay. It's not what I thought it was going to do. But okay. I can also see it's just use a localized button. I don't actually even know what a localized button is. Is that even an RR button? No. Okay, I need to tell it then. Don't use localized button. Use RR button. I'm actually curious, is localized button even being used anywhere? No. So this doesn't even need to exist. So I'm actually going to go in there. It's not really relevant to this PR, but no. UI localized button. because that just doesn't need to exist. Can you add the most appropriate icons to them and ensure that the unset upstream and delete buttons are danger buttons? But it was almost there. It was pretty close. Okay, so actually it has. There you go. Okay, didn't add the import for Font Awesome Solid. Oh, it did. It just added the wrong import. Because we're not using Font Awesome Solid 5 anymore. We are using Font Awesome Solid 6. Okay. So I guess I should create or set the actions actually in here. With the checkout, so the checkout one's a little bit more complicated because we have to check what's on the current branch, right? We have to know, do we have any stage changes on the current branch? If yes, do we want to stash them or do we want to bring them with us? If we bring them with us, do we want to handle conflicts? So we have to consider all of that for checkout. Therefore, I'm going to get it to do checkout for us because I have already implemented a checkout button for commits. It's basically exactly the same with branches. So I'm just going to say, can you implement the oops. Checkout button required for Hello Wide, welcome back. Yes, we are having a very good time. Things are actually going pretty well. Granted, Codex is doing quite a lot right now, but it is saving us a lot of time, so it's worth it. So all I've asked it to do, by the way, guys, is I've just asked it to reference get commit checkout button. So it should basically be able to translate everything that's used in here for commits to branches. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same, like pretty much identical. If we look at get commands and we look for checkouts, yeah, so checkout even actually just uses like switch or checkout depending on your Git version. So I mean, that should be trivial for it to do that. Have you made a lot of progress? Yes, we have made quite a lot of progress. Okay, I think it has actually just copy-paste this because this all looks like my code. In fact, I think this is identically my code from the from the commit checkout button. That's funny. And I only wrote that a few days, so I remember that code quite vividly. But has that actually worked? Yeah, it has. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly my code. In fact, it'll even show me. Yeah. It's literally exactly the same. This is a little bit different, apparently. Don't really know how, but I mean, even in here, you can see a lot of this is just duplicated fragments. So it's probably where it's just changed from branch to commit or commit to branch, etc. So pretty similar. Okay, so then in that case, the next thing is to do the other buttons, right? So that's the checkout button. Next one is going to be set upstream button. So we do set upstream button, set on action, event, and we just need to add those methods to the Git client and then also to Git manager. So I'm quickly going to go ahead and find that. Okay. So we want public void, or what do these usually return? Like when they just do something? These ones. Okay, yeah. So what we want to do is we want to do set upstream, or we can do set branch upstream. And then we want to do public void unset branch upstream. And then we want public void delete branch. And then we want public void rename branch as well. And this is also going to take in that boolean force. Okay, and then we can go into the Git manager and we can add those in here. So these will just all use the executor as well. So we'll go public void, and we'll just call this basically the same thing. I mean, set branch upstream, which will take in those, and then it will just run set branch upstream. Okay, that's fine. And then hopefully it knows what unset will be. It doesn't. That's fine. Okay, then we want delete, and then we want public void rename branch, which will take in our boolean force like that. Okay, so now we can get rid of those, and set upstream needs to have a dialog that just takes in the name of the branch. Now luckily, once again, it can actually go ahead, Codex can once again do this for us because I have a new branch button, which is once again exactly the same. So I just need to tell it to reference git commit new branch button. Okay, and it's also found the method in Git Manager that we just created as well. So that's fine. It can use branch validation from the Git Manager as well. So if we once again go Git Manager, we can find branch. It's going to take a second to actually find it, but we do have a is valid branch name or something. Check branch name, maybe. It's gonna take us a minute to find it. It's got so much shit to go through to get there. Checkout branch, no. Create branch, no. Is valid branch name, there you go. So it can just go ahead and use that for most of it. See what it does. Okay. think that's all fine. And that's just added to the lang as well, so that's good. Okay. Let's see what it's done in here. Okay, so it's just added a null check to that as well. Yeah, that's fine, because that needs to be... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'm just gonna ask it to do the unset upstream, which will require a confirmation dialog. I was gonna say we can do all these buttons, but to be honest, they are all just dialogues. Like unset upstream is literally just a confirmation dialog. Set upstream, as I say, is just the exact same as the new branch button. Checkout is exactly the same as the checkout commit button. Renaming is going to be the same as... I mean, basically the same as set upstream, right? Because we're just validating the branch name. But it will also need a checkbox for whether we want to force it. But, I mean, that's fine. Renaming. And then afterwards it will do deleting. Once again, I mean, that's just a confirmation. So that's going to be the same as unset. It's just going to have a confirmation dialog. I wonder, actually, has it created just a generic confirmation dialog, maybe? It interestingly hasn't. I actually can't even find... I don't know if I'm just blind or... Oh, I see. Here. Okay, I see. So it is just a confirmation dialog. Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, and then renaming, I think it has just... Yeah, so it's just got... Once again, you can see this is just a duplicate. Okay, and then I've got it doing deleting as well. And then that should be it. So once it's done deletion, then we're done. We can go ahead and actually commit this. Which will be nice. And then after that, guys, we're probably going to, unfortunately, end the stream. But we'll see. Okay, so it's done that. Let's actually go ahead and now test it and see where we're at. Okay, so browse button. Ooh. Ha ha ha. Interesting. Okay. There you go. Codex fixed that. I mean, that was an easy fix, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just changing that to that. Is that actually it? Is that actually all it was? I think so, right? Yeah, that was actually it. Funny enough. It was just this. It was just changing that. I was concerned that maybe it was going to break something further down, but no, that was actually just it. So if we now go ahead and run, all should be good. Let's have a look. Okay, so okay, I think I need to make some of those git commands run asynchronously. And they already do run asynchronously, but they don't. They report back non-asynchronously, so it doesn't really do what we want, does it? So if I now double click these, nice. We can now go ahead and do all of this. Now we can't set upstream because obviously none of these are going to have set upstream because they already have an upstream. I'm hesitant to actually test any of these buttons, admittedly, because I don't want to break anything. I mean, they should work. There's no reason why they shouldn't work. So I'm probably just gonna not test them and hope they are fine. I guess. Yeah, so actually that's fine. So that we can't check out that branch because we're already on it. The only issue is we can't read what some of these say because they're too long. Hmm. Okay, I've asked it to go ahead and add some tooltips to the buttons, so when we actually hover over the buttons, we can read what it says, because obviously I can hover over this, and I should be able to see that this says unset upstream, but I can't. So it should have that, and I've also asked it to make the pop-up wider, so it should bring it to about here, probably, which should mean we can read that. Obviously, we're never going to have unset upstream and set upstream at the same time, so that's fine. It just needs to be able to fit one of them, basically. So if we quickly now go ahead and rerun this with those changes it's made, that should work. Now, I assume... I'm curious how it's actually done this. So if we look at the buttons here... Yeah, so that's just set a tooltip, which is taking in the key. That's fine. That's... I mean, basically, you would... everything you would expect, so that's fine. Okay, so let's go full screen this, and if we double click, nice. So we can now, that hasn't actually worked. The content in the pop-up hasn't resized, but the pop-up has. Okay, but have tooltips worked? They should have. Yes. Okay. So that's good. So as long as tooltips work, that is kind of the most important thing. But yeah, let's just make it fix that. I assume it's a CSS thing, if I had to guess. But we'll see. Good luck getting legacy versions which require the old MCP workspace working. I don't know what you mean. MCP is not any different. I mean, it's still a Java project. It's still Java and Gradle. I mean, that's all that's needed here. In theory, it should work as of right now, even. If you mean actual like project creation itself, that's not planned, at least not for the foreseeable future. If someone wants to do that, they have to do that on their own. Okay, that's kind of worked, but the pop-up needs some does it need vertical padding too? No, it just needs horizontal padding. And the buttons should span the entire width. But it has kind of worked. It just needs, just needs to add that padding on the sides. And then it just needs the other shenanigans. Just needs these to span the entire width. Okay, so it has supposedly made those changes. Let's run it again. I mean, old version 1.6.4, but it's still just Java and Gradle. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it doesn't matter how old it is still Java. And even if it's not Gradle, even if it's Maven, that's fine, because in theory we will in the future support Maven. Currently we kind of do, but not really. Okay, that's good. That's basically everything I wanted. I'd like to see what setup stream looks like, but I guess it'll be pretty much exactly the same, so that's fine. I know, to be fair, some of the old stuff used Python, right? Which obviously currently isn't supported. So that would be a caveat. But I mean, once again, like, Railroad isn't going to officially support old versions, at least not from the start. In the future, it's obviously something we can look into, but as, like, starting out, we're not even remotely considering Python. Or not Python. We're not remotely considering old versions. Same way that we're not considering, like, Quilt, for example. But if someone wants to come in and support Quilt, that's fine. They can do that. But the priority is latest versions. Or maybe not latest. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a modern version that's supported, because all of the modern versions are pretty much the same. They all use Java. They all use Gradle. That's it. You just run some Gradle commands and boom, that's it, right? So as long as we can handle Gradle, then pretty much anything modern will work. Some of the older stuff, yeah, as I say, we'll have to come back and handle Python and whatever shenanigans they used back then, batch scripts or whatever. But that shouldn't be too hard either. I mean, getting like Python set up, fine. That could be done in, you know, that's like an hour's work on my end. Batch scripts, I mean, we literally already support batch run configurations, so that would be trivial. Things only get complex if you're talking like, you know, if we're running like C or C++, obviously things then get complicated, because we don't have any way to do that. But I don't believe there's any modding tooling systems that use anything other than like Java, Kotlin, Python, Gradle, or Groovy, I should say. I think that's it. I don't think anything uses anything else. if you used an exe, we could run that with the shell run configuration, so that's fine. Is there anything else? Don't think so. But anyways, that is it for all of this. So now we can actually go ahead and push this to get, and then I think I'm probably going to end the stream here because we've done quite a lot today, and I don't see any point in pushing it. So just going to quickly look through everything. Just make sure there's no jank in here that I've accidentally scrolled past. I mean, I'm sure there will be, to be honest. Like, this code isn't going to be perfect, but ideally everything just needs to be good enough. I've modded and worked in 1.6.4, 1.5.2, 1.4.7. It's more complex than that. I mean, I don't know. I've never modded any version older than 1.10.2, I think, which was still just like normal. It was basically modern modding back then. So yeah, I haven't used anything older than that ever. But I can't imagine it's that hard. I know older stuff used Python. At least at one point it did. But I don't know anything beyond that. Because obviously back then it wouldn't have been MCP Reborn, right? Because MCP Reborn is, yeah, 1.13 plus. So back then it would have been just MCP, right? But I'm pretty sure it was just... Oh no, MCP only goes back to 1.7.10. Okay. Well, I don't know what happens older than that then. Okay. I'm just having a quick look through the tutorial because I'm curious. Apparently it just used a batch script for the most part. Something you can worry about later on, just saying it's likely not as easy as you think. The scripts need Python 2, and some fail to even run on Java 8, meaning you need Java 7. I mean, that's fine. I mean, Railroad itself can still run on the latest version. It just has to execute that specific project on a different Java version. Currently, we don't actually install JDKs for you, though. But that is something actually, I think it's on the GitHub. Quickly check. I think it's on there, unless I forgot to put it on there, which is actually very possible, knowing me. Okay, I actually haven't put it on there. But at some point, obviously, we do want to download JDKs automatically. Actually, I should check some things off with the... Oh, I haven't made them checkboxes. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I'll look at it at some point, and you know, we'll look at supporting it. It can't be that hard. It's just installing the right versions for things, and that's basically it, right? As long as you have the right versions, things are just going to work. People are going to have template repositories and whatnot. So it's just getting the right version. So once that's all pinned down and whatnot, we can go from there. But yeah, not for the foreseeable future is what I will say. Because we want to get modern stuff working first, which currently it kind of does, kind of doesn't. So that needs a little bit of work. Let me just quickly go through everything here and just check that we have no jank, or at least little jank. That's fine. Yeah. These are all fine. These are all going to be fine. Don't even care about checking them. They'll be fine. Okay, these are fine. So these are just rewriting some of the stuff that was using the runner directly, but no longer is. That's fine. And then all of these, some of this is what Copilot did. So, I mean, or not Copilot, Codex. Probably want to use var there. Very minor thing, but it will annoy me if I don't. So I always go on people in PRs for not using var in some cases, and then sometimes I don't do it myself. So actually I'm going to try and fix those ones. At some point as well, I'm going to have to go through this entire thing and we're going to have to Java doc it all. So that's going to take a while when we get around to doing that. Yeah, so we can var that one, and then we can var this one. I mean, that's basically it. At some point, I'm going to add some Git recipe, some recipes and stuff, just to format things how we like it. But for now, not possible. Okay, that's all fine. Okay, and then that's, I mean, the CSS, I mean, is just CSS. There isn't much to say about that. This is all fine. We've been looking at this the entire time, right? So we know there's not going to be anything here to worry about. IDE setup, yep, that's just that. Localized buttons gone. Okay. Let's let Copilot try to generate a commit message. It's not going to succeed, but it can try for us. Because in the off chance it does succeed, I'll take it. Honestly? Not bad at all. I'm actually very impressed. This is getting much better. I remember when they initially released this Copilot shenanigans, and it was actually terrible. It couldn't do anything more than a couple, or more than like one file changes. It was atrocious. It's much better now. Wow, that is actually really good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. We'll just go with that. Okay, so let's 1 second before we actually go ahead and push that. Let's run Railroad and just check that the UI works. So it should show that we're 1 ahead of Origin, hopefully. I'll quickly have a look. I mean, there's so many things we need to do. Like, we need to have a loading screen right now. There should be a loading screen that says loading into the IDE or something. I haven't got around to that yet. Okay, yeah. So that says 1 ahead. That's fine. And we can also see latest commit, aggregate branches UI, last commit author. Yeah. 41 seconds ago as well. That's not updating, but I mean, that doesn't really matter. This actually also isn't updating. We could, yeah, we'll come back to it. We can do that in the future. It's not important right now, really. That's a nice and easy PR if someone wants to come and do that as well. So I'm going to push that. Okay. And now I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. As I said yesterday, I am planning to stream again some point this week. Don't know when exactly, but I'm planning to stream at some point. I'm going to schedule it so that I forced myself into doing it, but haven't got around to it yet. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I will see you all some point this week. Good. Bye.